Hey, boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of Think Different Television. All right, we're going to look at parallels and transversals in a new way for this video. Here's how they like to put it on the EOC. So they like to do it a little bit trickier, and so we're going to figure it out. So look at 9 and look at 10. Copy these down into your notes right now. I'm going to do 2, 9 and 10, and then you're going to do 2, 21 and 22 up there, okay? So pay attention, rewind the video if you need, do the problem again, pause, whatever you got to do to get it. Okay, here's my notes. Bam, looks like this. So here's number 9. So you have to get this angle here. This is kind of weird because that doesn't look like a regular transversal. They just put an angle in there. So how are you going to get this whole angle? The parallel lines always indicate that I need to use my relationships. So generally when I see parallel lines, I'm thinking alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, consecutive interior, which are supplementary. All those things are at my disposal. How am I going to use those to solve this problem here? That's what I'm thinking. And so with these, what you do is you have to be creative. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to draw another parallel line like that. That's parallel to these two. So I'm just going to make it up, and that's allowed. So I'm going to make another parallel line, and I'm going to cut this angle into 2 parts. So I'm going to call this top part X and this bottom part Y. And so if I find X and Y, then I'm going to add them up and I'm going to get 1 because angle X plus angle Y equals angle 1 from the picture I just created. Okay, so how the hell do you do that? Well, let's just focus on X first. And so if you eliminate this, so ignore this part here, so cover this up in your mind or cover it up with your finger or whatever you got to do. Then what if you, so I can draw as lefty, just extend this line here. Oh, that looks like parallel lines and a transversal, right? So I'm ignoring Y, I'm ignoring all that crap. So I'm just looking at this. So what is the relationship between 50 and X? If this is the transversal, sorry, go better. That's same side, skip 1. So that these angles are corresponding, and corresponding angles are congruent. And so X equals 50. Why? Because corresponding angles are congruent. Now I didn't even address that. I totally ignored that. Okay. So now I have 50 for X. Now I need to get Y. Because if I get Y, then I can get the final answer, which I'm looking for, which is find the measure of angle 1. Okay. So, like that. Okay, so now I'm ignoring this part right here. So now I'm trying to get Y. So I'm just trying to get Y. Just looking at that. So here's my parallel lines. So now my parallel lines. So I need to look here. Okay, so it looks like this one is obtuse and this one is acute. So I have obtuse and acute, and it looks like it's the same side of the transversal because this is the transversal. And so it's going to be consecutive interior angles here. Okay, so if one's acute and one's obtuse, you know they can't be congruent. So it looks like 100 plus Y equals 180, and you can do that in your head. That equals 80. Why? Because these two angles are consecutive interior. It looks weird when you have everything else, but if you cover it up, then it makes sense. Cool. So last thing. So I got 50 and I got 80. So 50 and 80 are going to equal angle 1 because I found both parts. So 50 plus 80 is 130 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 equals 130 degrees. Bam, got it. Cool. All right, let us continue. Number 10. Here it looks like this. So these two lines are parallel. I got to find this angle 1. What's the first thing you do? Make a parallel line. Okay, so now make a third parallel line. So all 3 are parallel. Never touch. So I'm going to call this one X. I'm going to call this one Y. Because angle X, the measure of angle X, plus the measure of angle Y equal the measure of angle 1 according to my picture. So if I find X and Y, I'm good to go. Alrighty then. So let's look at X first. So I'm going to cover this up. Let's extend this line here if you want in your mind. So what's the relationship between 62 and x? That looks like it's inside the parallel lines I'm looking at because I'm looking at these two parallel lines. So that's alternate interior angles. Alternate interior. Alternate interior are congruent. And so if this angle is 62, angle x is also 62 degrees. Cool, so I got this part, so this is 62 degrees. So I need this part, and I get my final answer. Okay, so now looking at y. Okay, so let's extend this line, because here's my transversal. Cover up with all this stuff, so I can ignore it. So now I'm looking at this line and this line. Okay, 144 is here, that's an obtuse angle, and this is an acute angle, and this is my transversal. So it looks like these are consecutive interior angles. They're supplementary. Why? Because one's acute and one's obtuse, and they're on the same side of this transversal. So 144 plus y equals 180. So subtract 144. And I have 36. So this angle here is going to be 36 because 36 plus 144 equals 180. Cool. And so 62 plus 36 is 98 degrees. There you go. That is the answer for number 10. All right, your turn now. So we went over 2. If you need to rewind or redo the video, go ahead. Now let's look at, boop. We did 9, we did 10, so here's 21 and 22. Copy those down. Okay. Next, your turn. Back to the notes. Here's number 21 right here. See if you can get angle 1. Ready, set, go. All right, let's see what we got. I'm going to go faster this time. Parallel line. Okay, x and y. The measure of angle x plus the measure of angle y equals the measure of angle 1. All right, so x, if I extend this line, there's my transversal. Here are my parallel lines. And so these are alternate interior. Alternate interior are congruent. So this is 60 degrees for x. How about y? So let's extend this right here. I can erase. That's why I use a pencil right here. Okay. So get rid of this. Cover it up. What's this relationship? If these two are my parallel lines and this is my transversal, so that would mean that these are also alternate interior. Oh, cool. So this is 20 degrees. So 60 plus 20 is angle 1. 60 plus 20 is 80 degrees. Hopefully you got that one. So the measure of angle 1 is 80 degrees for 21. Cool. Let's try 22. Pause the video, see if you got it. All right, let's try it. It's a little backwards, but same thing applied. This is x, this is y. The measure of angle x plus the measure of angle y equals the measure of angle 1. If I add these two up, I get this angle. Okay, cool. So looking at x first, you can look at y first, it don't matter. So looking here, let's extend this. So here's my transversal. I didn't write the parallel line signs, my bad. Let's get those down. All 3 of these are parallel. Okay. So this is obtuse. I always look at obtuse and acute. That's why I went over it. And this angle is acute, so they're not congruent. So what's going on here? Well, if this is 140, same side skip one, I can do corresponding, right? So this is skipping this and going to this. So these two angles are corresponding. So what if I moved this to here, 140? So this is 140, this is 140. Because they're corresponding angles. So this is obtuse, this is obtuse. Got it. So now x and 140 are supplementary. Why? Because they're on a straight line. Any angles that share a straight line, and we know a straight line is 180 is a straight angle. So x plus 140 equals 180. So what plus 140 is 180? That would be, 40. And that makes sense because that is acute. Cool. Sometimes you got to do a little intermediate step there. All right, now let's get y. So now looking at these two parallel lines, here's my transversal. Those are inside, interior. Alternate interior. So this is 32 degrees. All right, 40 plus 32 is my final answer. 40 plus 32, which is 72 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 is 72 degrees. Got it. Nice job, everybody. Hopefully you got those. If not, rewind the video and knock them out because those appear on the EOC all the time.